In the next 2 weeks after this sighting, Mothman was seen in Mason, Lincoln, Logan, Kanawha, and Nicholas counties. That's a wide berth of central, southern kind of West Virginia, right?
Heck yeah.
5 different counties. November 17th, 1966 was a huge day with at least 6 Mothman sightings and several UFO and weird being sightings.
Welcome to Creepalachia. It is part 2 of the Tinfoil Hat series, and I'm so excited to be joined by my man, co-host, Tom Reiser.
Thank you.
And this is basically where we wear tinfoil hats and we talk about subjects and their complexities. The first was Charles Manson, but we decided we're going to do all Appalachian stuff from now on. And what's more Appalachian than the Mothman? Let's go. So, Tom,
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Mothman. This goes deep, brother. We're gonna. There's so much complexities to this story that it is higher than high strange. You've heard that term, right?
Right.
High strange. It is. It's on another level.
Heck yeah,
my friend.
Yep. And obviously, well, if someone's been following the show, they may have seen a post or two on Facebook about us shooting a Mothman movie. You have a Mothman experience that recently happened. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff. So we was talking beforehand. Where do we start? I was thinking like origin story. Like, do we want to walk through the origin lore of the Mothman as Tom basically spends months studying the subject and then he comes in. And then I'm completely unprepared, and I just react to these bullet points.
Right. So let's just start at Chief Cornstalk. Okay. So Chief Cornstalk was a Native American chief who was the chief of the tribe, and I can't remember the name of the tribe. I apologize.
I'll look it up. Keep talking.
I apologize to my Native friends. I know that's very
prominent
important.
Shawnee leader.
Shawnee. Okay, so he was a Shawnee chief, and he was murdered by a handful of soldiers in what is now Point Pleasant. Right now, legend says that in his dying breath, he cursed Point Pleasant and the area that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
And so therein lies, the curse of Point Pleasant. And folks love to point back to this, this happening as the beginning of, what would become the mess that is Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in the 60s, right? But what I have found out is that there is little to no evidence that this actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, was Chief Cornstalk murdered? Yes. But did he curse Point Pleasant? We don't think so.
Uh-oh.
Because the only real evidence that this actually happened is from a play that was written and performed in the early 20th century, 1910, 1915, something like that, in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I think someone took some
liberties.
Yeah, little liberties.
Okay.
Right. And put a little twist on their, Chief Cornstalk play,
mm-hmm.
so to speak. So a lot of people will point to that and say, well, Chief Cornstalk cursed the land and that's why it's like this. But there's little to no evidence that actually happened, but it's nice to think about.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he was murdered by soldiers when he was, trying to make a peace deal effectively. So,
yeah, I did a little short story on Chief Cornstalk. So the internet basically, or Bing, I got to Google, but Bing was a prominent Shawnee leader Cornstalk was for his diplomatic skills and military leadership during the 18th century, particularly in the context of colonial expansion and Native American resistance.
Yeah.
So
you're always binging on this show.
I know. I need to not do that. I don't know.
I think that's the man trying to keep us down.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. And there's Men in Black.
Hey, there
lore. You go. Is there Men in Black lore with the Mothman? Or?
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chief Cornstalk, any more notes there we need to know about?
There was sightings of a strange bird around that time when that play was produced in 1914 of a strange bird with red feathers, head of a human. And they called it the Birdman. Sightings along the Ohio River in the 1940s. And it was said to be a bad omen, right? And so that began, I guess, what would, continue in the 60s. But there are many references to half man or woman and aviary beings throughout human history. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so let's go into that a little bit. Just touch on it. All right. So there was the Garuda, right? Who was an Indian, in Hindu and Buddhist mythology. Was revered as the mightiest god of birds, a striking hybrid, consistently described as having the torso and arms of a man, combined with the head, beak, and wings and talons of an eagle or vulture. The creature's appearance is often detailed as having a white face, red wings, and a shiny golden body. His physical might is legendary. His wings are said to be so powerful they can block out the sun, and he can fly faster than any other bird.
This is metal. Let me see if I can find a picture here. Okay, so I got the Wikipedia up. Take that for what it's worth, but we got
and actually, the name of John Keel's book was not the Mothman Prophecies, but Year of the Garuda instead. That was what he named it, and his publishers changed the name, which I think was smart.
Really?
In the end, right? Because we all know it as Mothman. So there's the Garuda, right? Now the Thunderbird. You've heard of the Thunderbird? Mm-hmm. Native American supernatural spirit, a colossal benevolent figure in the mythology of North American indigenous peoples, particularly among the Algonquin and Iroquois tribes.
Good pronunciation.
I try.
Well done.
I try.
You are an educator.
I am. And, I used to do a little on-air work, turn,
Thank you for listening to W978.
That, did a little news, I've been known to dabble. And then there's the sirens, right, of the Greek seas, where, in the Odyssey, the hero Odysseus survives their song only by having his crew block out their ears with beeswax and being tied to his ship's mast. They would sing a song, and of course, they were half woman, half bird beings.
Epic,
right? And of course, the modern harbinger of doom, the Mothman.
Shout out.
Okay, so there are several different ones. There's a couple more. I don't know. I've lost it somewhere. But anyway, there's a strong legend here around half man, half aviary beings. And at first, in Point Pleasant, and some people still in Point Pleasant call it the bird, because a lot of the witnesses saw feathers, reportedly. So now here's a little kind of timeline of sightings and witnesses, descriptions during the sort of they say it was 18 months. Other people will refute that. They'll say it started a little earlier. Some say it ended later than the famed Silver Bridge collapse. Others say it never stopped, right? So, but this is some accounts and some descriptions of what happened in 1966 to 67. Now, the first one that I found was a National Guardsman who saw a giant bird at the TNT factory, the TNT area, on November 2nd, 1966. And he described it as a brownish being with giant wings and, red eyes. And now
this is the TNT area.
Yeah, that's it. And I've got some great video of those things, and we'll get to that. Well, and I'll break down kind of what the TNT area is, and we can go ahead and do that for for reference.
How many AC/DC puns can you do?
I don't know. It might be dynamite.
Oi.
So
oi.
Let me find my TNT area. And now there are TNT area maps and pictures and things in the drive that I sent you.
Got you, big dog.
And they're labeled TNT area.
Got it.
So there's a map there.
Okay.
Kind of a screenshot. So the TNT area was known as the West Virginia Ordnance Works. They produced TNT and installed 100 concrete bunkers that spread out all over the site.
Are those these little dots? Or I don't know. I'm not even going to act like I know what it is.
I believe so, but I'm not entirely certain. Now, they are close to the road.
Yeah.
Right? So, there are roads going in and out of this area. Go to the let's see some more pictures here, and
sure.
I can kind of explain to you. Now, that is how it used to look, right, in the 1940s when they were producing TNT. They also produced they began producing in 1942, began producing heavy water, deuterium oxide. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
That sounds good to me.
Used as a moderator to control the fission process needed for atomic weapons.
Okay.
They shipped heavy water to the Manhattan Project laboratories until August of 1945.
Which was the bomb.
The bomb.
Atom bomb?
The bomb, gotcha. The atomic bomb. And
shout out to Oppenheimer.
Yeah, right. He used some stuff from Appalachia, right? The heavy water.
That's cool to know.
Sent it right over to Hiroshima and cooked it on down a little bit, I guess.
Jesus, Tom.
Woo.
With all due respect.
With all due respect, we had to do it. Sorry, folks. But in 1983, the WVOW, pardon me, was listed as a Superfund site due to the contamination from its operations. Cleanup efforts are ongoing, but as much as 8 inches of topsoil had to be removed in large areas of the site. A large portion of the WVOW is now the McClintock Wildlife Management Area.
Okay.
So it is now a wildlife management area, and it's pretty.
So here's an old picture of it.
Yep.
Okay. And now it's covered in wilderness.
Yeah, there's trees all over that thing, and
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, hey, there I am. All right. So now the first nuclear reactor reportedly was built in the 20s in South Charleston. According to John Keel, one of the 4 or 5 John Keel books I've read recently. And Union Carbide was over that. They found some of their slag in Point Pleasant, and Tesla had patents on anti-gravity, and they were bought by Union Carbide. Carbide developed the atomic bomb for the Manhattan Project, and some Union Carbide glue reportedly was found at the Roswell crash. I don't know how that connects, but according to John Keel, that's correct. I don't know. There were several Mothman sightings near South Charleston as well. So that's the TNT area. Now, parts of this area, I believe, are still under the Army Corps of Engineers and is cordoned off, and you cannot get to them. It's locked up, and don't go near there. So
yeah, don't do it, folks.
Yeah, don't try to get into the TNT area, the parts where you can't go. The government will come after you.
And that's where your experience occurred.
Yes.
Okay.
And we can go ahead and
let's do it. Let's
go ahead and go through that.
Why were you there?
Okay, so I was asked by Mr. Creepalachia himself to do a deep dive on Mothman and the lore, right, for this very podcast. And so I said, I've never been to Point Pleasant, and I don't know a whole lot about this story. I've seen the Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere, but it's been, 20 years, 25. And I didn't even remember really what happened in it. I had a little, I remember a little bit, but so my wife and I and Ricky, right, who has appeared on this podcast, we decided to go up there and check it out. So we drive up there, and I am on the highway going into Point Pleasant. We're very close, right? And I said to my wife, I said, I kind of feel the river over there. Is the river over there? Right. And I said, there's something, I feel something over this ridge. And in fact, and I didn't know that then, that is where the TNT area is, was where we were driving. The river is over there, right? But it's between the highway there and the river. And it, I could feel it over there. And so, we had fun, and there's a video we can pull the video up here of my trip. So not that one, but keep going.
What's it named?
Is it in there? No. Okay, it's in the list.
The list.
The Google Doc that I sent you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, let's do a little.
Sorry,
privacy screen.
Stand by, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. In here?
Yeah, I guess. Is that it?
I don't know.
Nope.
You sent me another.
Yeah, I sent you. I sent you a whole new one.
Got it.
There you go.
Okay, got it.
All right. Now go all the way to the bottom. All right. So hit the family trip to the TNT area.
This one right here.
Yeah, that one right there. And there's a couple of videos. We can hit that one and just kind of play it. Yeah, let's play that one while we're, and I don't think there's any audio on it. We went to the museum, it's now let's go back. You skipped one.
Screwed it up. All right.
There we go. All right. And you always got to go to the museum. The museum was fun. A lot of information, models. That's the old power plant. And, I got kind of a basis of the story.
Bro, did
there.
you put transitions in this bad boy?
Oh yeah. Like, well, that's the TikTok that I put together. I just slapped it in there. Right.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
That's handwritten, accounts. Right. And we had fun, right? It was a kind of a family trip, weird family fun, which is kind of what we're into.
Sure.
And, we went down and checked out Chief Cornstalk's grave, the giant obelisk there at the park at the end of the the point of Point Pleasant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had fun, right? And so I knew that most of the sightings and most of the weird kind of stuff happened out at the TNT area. And so we look it up, right? And you can let's go to the next one.
Next.
And we look it up, and you drive out there. It's a beautiful place. You can see the stacks of the power plant. Now this is the power plant that's still there, right? And active. It's not the TNT power plant that was out there for their purposes. And this is my video, right? And it's a beautiful place. The lilies were blooming. I saw like 8 or 10 deer down that way, and you can't really see them in that shot, but there's wildlife everywhere. It's a beautiful place.
Lovely day.
Yeah, it really was. And then you come up on the closest. That's the one that's on Google Maps anyway. There's 100 of them out there, but this is the one that's on Google Maps. And so, it's
some graffiti.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's all kinds of graffiti. There might be some, curse words in the graffiti. So apologies, but listen, as you walk into this thing, that's just me stepping on a rock.
Oh, wow.
That is crazy. Holy cow.
The sound in that thing.
It's like a ricochet.
Yeah. And you go in there and it feels very strange. Not only does the sound kind of get you, I don't know. There's some weird power in these things. I can't explain it. So now when we pulled up there, my kid looks at me and says, home. He absolutely did not want to be there.
Right. And for people who don't know Ricky
is nonverbal autistic. And as we've stated kind of on the podcast before, he's a supernatural being all in himself. Right. And
telepathy tapes.
I think he's telepathic. I think he picks up on vibes. I think he picks up on things that are strange. If he doesn't like a person, I believe it. And when we pulled up there and he said home, it wasn't just because he didn't want to walk out into nature. He wanted to get out of there. And so, this has kind of happened before where, we pull up to, some place and he's just like, he won't get out of the car, but he's never said home. And so I'm like, all right, I'll go out there and, check it out. Right. And I go out there and I shoot that video and I come back and I set Lindsay up to go out there. That way she can go out and experience the dome and kind of check things out. And it's only about a 200-yard walk from the parking place. And so Ricky is still in the car. I set her up on a gimbal, a little phone gimbal. And then she starts walking out to the TNT bunker. And I'm sitting there and I'm playing some music on my phone. And Ricky is playing this song at the end of I think it's season 1 or 2 of Schitt's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Schitt's Creek?
Oh yeah.
All right. The scene where they're all where they're dancing as a family in the barn, right?
Yeah.
And it's called Precious Love, right?
And I'm not beeping that, y'all. Y'all know it's spelled SCHITT.
Right. It's a show, y'all.
It's a show.
All
Yeah.
right. Look it up. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's one of his favorite scenes. And as you know, he'll play things over and over and over and over again, right? And so he was playing this song, and sometimes he does that when we're all together as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was playing this song over and over and over again. And 2 or 3 minutes go by, and I look up, and on the display of my car, it says Lindsay active call. And I think, well, that's kind of strange. And I said, hello? And nothing. I said, hello? Nothing. I didn't think anything of it. I just hit end call. Right. And so she comes back and she's, that was crazy. That was weird. That igloo, the thing and the sound. And, we were leaving. And when you pull up here, and you haven't been there.
I have not.
So when you kind of enter the TNT area, you feel it. It's like it feels heavy, right? For some reason. Well, I mean, from everything that you've heard, right? But I've been to places where, bad things have happened or weird things have happened, and I haven't felt that. But I felt it, my wife felt it, and Ricky definitely felt it, right? And so when we were leaving, like I got a chill once I was out of the area and going down the highway towards Point Pleasant. And it was just like a weight was kind of lifted off my shoulders. And around that time I was like, so who called you? And she said, nobody called me. I said, yeah, there was an active call. It said, Lindsay, active call in my car. And she said, no, nobody called me. And so she looked at her call log, and there was no call. And so we just kind of continue on down the road, and we get to the hotel, and she starts playing her video. So let's go to that video.
Okay. And it is labeled.
It is go back
in the folder.
Yep.
Okay.
The other one.
Oh, got it.
Go back. Mothman notes. There you go. All right. Lindsay's video. That one right at the bottom.
Right here.
Nope.
Oh,
yep,
Lindsay.
there we go. All right. Now, so when you play this, hit pause. Okay. So play it and hit pause.
All right.
Because I want to show folks
with audio.
Now, can you pull up the metadata there?
Metadata. Oh, I had a good thing about metadata. I don't think you can. I have to download it, right? Let me download it.
Okay.
I'll download it and make sure. I think I have to pull up the metadata
because it should have some, the place and the time and all of that, because I want to be clear here that I did not doctor this at all.
Yeah. And this is a good time to talk about metadata. There've been a lot of people talk about edited screenshots. And I said, it's not possible to edit them and it still be labeled the same as if it were a screenshot.
Right.
So the more you know, it relabels the file when you edit it. All right. So
yeah, and that's it was a DJI gimbal.
okay, and so let's show people how to do this. So you right click on the file and you hit properties. Okay. Now we got properties.
And it should have a
you got digital signatures here. I don't know what I'm doing actually. Details. Oh, here we go. Details. So June 27th, 2025 at 6:42 p.m. This was created.
There should be a location there too.
Location
somewhere.
Let's see.
For some reason, when I bring it up, it has like a map and everything.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like through because I shared the Google Photos link, and it automatically uploads to Google Photos from our phones. Right?
Really? Okay.
It should be in there. Hit the I button there. Is that
button?
it?
Got the I button.
Well, maybe it's not showing it.
Well, we verified the date,
right?
Time,
yeah, and I can show you on mine if so. And we started watching this, and you can go ahead and play it.
So, what's the audio? Is the music copywritten?
It probably is.
Okay,
but there's just like 3 seconds of it, and it starts over.
All right, let's go.
That's my kid's iPad.
Okay.
That's Ricky playing that.
How's it? It's going into her phone?
Yes.
Where's he at?
He's in the car.
No iPads around.
He's got an iPad.
Okay, he's got.
That's his voice. Did you hear that glitch?
Yeah. So, how is there possibly interference there?
There's my kid.
Oh,
that was his voice.
Later.
Yeah, you can hear his voice. There's his voice. I was playing music in the car.
Yeah.
At the same time.
But the audio is going through the phone. But now, okay, so that verifies that like you did get a phone call.
There was something going on.
Okay, but the phone call wasn't in her phone.
There was
log.
no phone log of a phone call.
Interesting. But even still, how?
Yeah.
How is that playing through the audio of the phone?
Exactly.
If there's
in a recording.
Well, I'm trying to think of some kind of bug. Let's just say, like,
I mean,
she hit play or record, and then it called you. What kind of bug is that, though?
None that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I haven't heard of.
And I Googled it. Okay, now this is audio from her,
from the recording,
from the recording. You know, that's her switching lenses.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
sure,
that hasn't been edited.
Yeah, it has 3 cameras on it. So you're going from got it.
iPhone, I don't know, 13 or something. But you know, nothing else really happens here. But how did that happen? Right?
Right.
And we were just like, that's totally weird. And then I was sitting there and I remembered that weird phone calls were a giant part of the lore.
Mm. Well, it was in the movie. So was it in the book?
It was, yes.
Okay.
And accounts from other people in other books, right? Like the the fire chief of Point Pleasant got thousands of phone calls. And there would be weird glitches and beeps and metallic sounding voices in languages that he didn't understand. Sometimes it would sound like somebody speaking English, but down in the bottom of a a hole or something, right? But it happens again and again and again and again and again. These weird phone calls. And so, because I was just now starting to dig into this lore, I Google it, weird phone calls, a part of the Mothman lore. And, of course, yes. And
wow.
Weird electronic glitches is something that almost all of them talk about. We Google, is weird phone calls a part of the lore? And absolutely, it's a part of the lore. And all of a sudden, we're staring at each other, just freaked out.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm the assistant director of Mothman Prophets.
Heck yeah. What a journey.
And thank you for that, by the way. Just calling me out of the blue and being like, hey, you want to do this thing? I appreciate that.
So fun.
It's you had just sent me the theme of the movie, right? Via text. And, I started playing it and it had gotten dark. It was, cause this was at 7, almost 7. And it was about 9 o'clock or so when we were, just hanging out, and I got that text and I said, let's go back to the TNT area and play this just as loud as we possibly can and see what happens. And they both were like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think, just like you, I'm like, maybe that's a glitch. Maybe it's just a glitch. Maybe it's nothing. And I think I remember telling you, this may be a glitch. I'm going to try to recreate it. But if I can't, this may very well be documented strangeness in the TNT area.
Yeah.
Because one, I was playing music. Where's my audio? And why is it only his voice and what is coming out of his iPad? And then it glitches. It's all very, very strange.
Oh yeah, man.
And I talked to an IT professional friend of mine who used to work for the Army, and he said, this is like several different levels of technology that should not be talking to each other.
Sure.
Out of the blue. Right. And so we can play my test. Now that is in the drive. There you go. And I think it's labeled as TNT area test or something like, recreation. There we go. And so now this is, I've got split screens here, and I recorded the display of my car. Ricky is in the car playing his iPad. My phone is plugged into the CarPlay, just as it was. And I try to recreate this thing.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay, folks, we're going to try to recreate what happened out at TNT area and see if something happened or this is a normal thing. So let's see what happened. So Ricky decided he did not want to get out at the TNT area. The vibes were definitely off, right, Rick? Yeah, did not want to get out at the TNT area up at near Point Pleasant. So he was in the car playing his iPad, and I had my phone plugged into the car, and my wife had her phone on this gimbal. So we're going to hook it up and see what happened. Okay, so right here, and she was using my car was on. Yep. Memo app, and see hooked up there. she started recording video. And we're rolling video. The audio from her phone. That's the audio from her phone there. And we walked away from the car. Back there. As you can hear there's no sound coming from the car. This is all audio from her phone. So, and there's no, I just walk out here. There's no phone call on my display. There's no audio coming through on her phone. So,
successful recreation or not? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's as close as I could get. Right.
Yeah.
And I guess that's not definitive proof. Maybe there is some way to prove that this, was just a glitch, and maybe it was, but it was very, very, very weird.
That's crazy. Love it. Well, Tom, you saw the Mothman.
Well, I didn't see him, but I may have heard him. At least some strangeness, right? And you can cut that. So that was our introduction to the Mothman story.
Mm-hmm.
Was a little taste of maybe what these people went through in the 1960s.
Which we'll get into now.
Yeah.
So what was the first one? Do you know?
So the very first one that I have found was a National Guardsman that was stationed on the TNT area in the 1960s sees a giant bird that was kind of brownish, November 2nd, 1966. And that's really before the first really accepted sighting of the Mothman.
Mm-hmm.
The first big one that you hear about, 4 men see a large brown aviary being while digging a grave in Clendenin, West Virginia. Now that's a stretch from Point Pleasant, but I guess if you can fly, it's not too bad. On November 12th, 1966.
A guy gave me a print of a painting he did of the grave digger one.
Nice.
Yeah, and the Mothman's in the sky. It's pretty cool. I can't remember if I put the stickers on the front of this, but anyway, go ahead.
So now the first one in the Point Pleasant area, this actually is before that. November 14th of 1966, Merle Partridge of Salem, West Virginia. He's a farmer. He and his family are sitting watching TV one night, and the TV just starts going crazy. And his dog Bandit starts barking outside, and his TV explodes.
What?
He says, TV just explodes. Glass goes everywhere, and he sees his dog take off into the night over next to one of his buildings, maybe a small barn, I think. And they go out on the porch and they see red lights spinning around out near this building. And then all of a sudden, his dog Bandit is gone.
Mm.
And he said, me and the wife just went back in the house and went to bed.
Without Bandit?
For some reason, they thought, well, everything's going to be all right. They had a calm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And they just went to bed.
Huh. Poor Bandit.
They never saw Bandit again.
Well, that's incredibly depressing.
Yeah, I mean, but why would your TV exploded your dog is gone.
Yeah.
There's red lights spinning in your yard, and then they disappear along with your dog. And then you just go to bed?
Now, did they get conjunctivitis?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Because pink eye's involved.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that. November 15th, 1966. And this is the red letter date, right? If you were going to go back in time on the TNT area in the DeLorean, this is the date, right? Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette are running out the TNT area. They're teenagers. They're trying to find some folks to maybe race or, hang out with, teenagers. And this was a popular kind of hangout spot, to get away from town. And so they see something in their headlights in the road in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they get closer to it and it just raises up. And they start booking it down this road, trying to get away from this thing. And it reportedly flew right next to their car the entire time. He said he added up to 100 out here in the TNT area. And, huge red eyes, a black figure, wings that it did not flap, which is a thing you'll hear again and again from witnesses, that it doesn't really have to flap its wings to fly. Right? So they head back to town because obviously freaked out. And as they're coming back into town, they see a dead dog hanging on a sign, I believe.
What?
And so they went directly to the sheriff's office and talked to a Deputy Halstead, who went with them to go investigate. And they see that the dog is gone. And all of a sudden they start hearing weird shrieking sounds from the police radio. The police radio was turned off. And I think you had to have a key to turn the radio on, and the key wasn't in it. And so that's the first of thousands of similar accounts of these weird radio and telephone sounds.
Now, out at the TNT area, can you go 100 out there somewhere?
It's very flat. You could see on that video, it's very flat and straight.
How far does it go out through there?
It's a while. It's not huge, but it's not small either, right? There are places where there's probably, I don't know, 3 miles of straight road, at least from where I was.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get up to 100 out there if you needed to.
Interesting.
I'm sure. And so the next morning, Sheriff George Johnson holds a press conference in Point Pleasant.
Let's go, George.
And of course, the legendary Mary Hyre, who was a reporter for, I have that here somewhere. It's the something messenger, the Athens Messenger, I do believe.
What's her name?
Mary Hyre, Hyre. But I have it here somewhere.
Got it.
Yep, that's her. The Athens Messenger. Yep, that's right.
Okay.
And so she puts it out on the wire.
Nice looking lady.
Yeah.
Makes some good green beans for church on Sunday.
Oh, for sure. She put some bacon in there, or ham hock,
some
little onions or something.
Yeah. Little onions.
Yeah.
Or maybe your
maybe a little
armpits. Oh, that's mean.
Or a little garlic.
I'm kidding. That's jokes.
So she puts it out on the wire, and it was then known as the Bird. She reported it as the Bird, and a Sheriff George Johnson. I had to take the tinfoil hat off. My head was cooking again, even with the hat on.
Even with that, I had to cheat. I
was
put my hat on.
Woo. Anyway, the Sheriff George Johnson holds a press conference the next morning, and Mary Heyer, reporter for the Athens Messenger, she puts it out on the wire, and she calls it the Bird, which is what folks in Point Pleasant called it. And some folks in Point Pleasant still call it the Bird, but Batman was a big show back in the 60s, right? Batman and Robin, and the boom, bap, piff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody in Charleston, a reporter in Charleston, called it the Mothman because they said it resembled either a bird or a moth. And so he went with Mothman, and here we are in 2025. It's the Mothman, right? Of course, that's what everybody started to pick up, and it went sort of worldwide that this strange happening, went on in Point Pleasant. And so I think this is maybe a week later, Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Walmsley and Mrs. Marcella Bennett and her baby daughter, she was 2 at the time, was visiting Ralph and Virginia Thompson at the TNT area. And Ralph was the superintendent of the Trojan U.S. operations there on the TNT area at the time. And so Ralph and Virginia were not at home, but John Keel mentions that Virginia Thompson is known to be psychic, and that she would be aware of things before it happened. She would have dreams that she foretold of bad things that would happen to her friends and family, and that, she was a psychic. And Ralph and Virginia Thompson, they lived on the TNT area because he was the superintendent of their operations there. Maybe Union Carbide, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they were not at home, but Raymond Walmsley, Marcella Bennett, and her daughter pull into their driveway, and they're walking into the house, and they hear, a shriek, some sounds behind them. And so they kind of turn around, and Marcella says that they saw a black kind of blob on the ground, and it stood up out next to their car, and that it was close to 7 feet tall. It had giant glowing red eyes and a 10-foot wingspan. And so they freeze for a moment, and then they start running into the house, and Marcella falls. And I think Raymond is Marcella's brother. So Marcella Bennett falls on her baby daughter, but she says she can't move. She's petrified. Right? And so her brother picks her up and picks the baby up, and they, start pounding on the door, and just Ralph and Virginia Thompson's kids are at home, and they've got the door locked. They hear the screaming and everything that's going on outside, and they finally open the door and they get them inside. And Mrs. Walmsley was told to have years of PTSD-like symptoms. And Linda Scarberry, actually, that was in the car a few days earlier, she reported the same kind of symptoms, and would seek medical help for that and everything. And of course, Ralph and Virginia come home from church, and the cops are there. The kids, are outside, and, it was a mess. So in the next 2 weeks after this sighting, Mothman was seen in Mason, Lincoln, Logan, Kanawha, and Nicholas counties. That's a wide berth of central southern kind of West Virginia, right?
Heck yeah.
5 different counties. November 17th, 1966 was a huge day with at least 6 Mothman sightings and several UFO and weird being sightings. Roger and Linda Scarberry's trailer would be inundated with weird beeps and shrieks and weird sounds. So they had to move.
Mm-hmm.
So they move into the basement apartment of their in-laws. And at this time, a WVU professor comes along and says, well, everybody is seeing a sandhill crane. Everybody just needs to calm down. This is a sandhill crane that has obviously wandered into the TNT area, and folks, are freaking out. And so John Keel, famed UFO researcher, had blown into town, and he started walking around to witnesses, showing them a picture of a sandhill crane. And all of them said, that is definitely not it. And if you want to pull up a sandhill crane,
Sure.
Now, some of them are black with red coloration. See, there's one that's gray, and it's got the red, coloration on its.
Let's see here.
There's some of them are dark gray, and there you go.
Got it.
Yeah, and according to, I think he was a zoologist for WVU at the time, said this is just a sandhill crane. Everybody's freaking out, right? Y'all need to calm down. Now, according to everybody who saw it, it absolutely, definitely was not a sandhill crane. For one, the wings didn't flap.
Mm-hmm.
They were either bent or out, and it just flew.
Sure.
So Ruth Foster of St. Albans, she saw its face in the encounter in St. Albans and said it had a funny little face with big red poppy eyes. And that's where you get the protruding red eyes, right? Mm-hmm. Where, several sightings happened at the TNT power plant. A bunch of them. There was a power plant on the TNT that supplied power to the operations there. And of course, it was broken down and shut down since 1945, 1947. And in the 60s, 20 years of wear and tear and everything, it was kind of broken down. 2 bikers see Mothman as they're riding through the TNT area.
Mm-hmm.
And they see it go into the power plant. And they decide they're going to go in there and see what this thing is. And so they head inside this power plant. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think power plant.
Oh
yeah, put the power plant in there, and I think you'll pull the right
power plant.
There you go.
Okay,
right
got it.
There. That's it.
Got it.
And so these 2 bikers go in there and they find it. And one biker said, they're like, this is just a guy in a suit. He's just trying to mess with us, because they saw it, on top of the roof or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they go in there and the guy's like, well, I'm going to pull a gun, and he didn't have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
He was just trying to threaten the guy because he was coming right at him. And you know, he was, you know, scared to death because this thing, once it got close, it was absolutely not a guy. And of course, these two guys, they head out of there. Mothman kind of chases them down the road and flies away. So Carlisle and Faye DeWitt and two younger siblings, they decide to go through the TNT to prove to his younger siblings that there was nothing to worry about, right? Like by this time, this is a big conversation at school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mothman's going to get you. And so they're driving out through the TNT area, and all of a sudden, this black figure, red eyes, is running next to the car. And they're driving, you know, 65, 70 mile an hour. And this thing is running right next to the car, keeping up with it. Now, before this, all of your witnesses say that it has a shuffling gait, that it doesn't really walk very well. You know, I've seen animals and beings that don't walk very well. They kind of shuffle and saunter, and then, you know, they can really take off if they need to, right?
Right.
So he tries to lose it, right? Carlisle tries to lose it. He takes a right and puts everybody get down in the back seat, and he takes a right, and he ends up where? At the North Power Plant. And this being, the Mothman, because he had to stop, is right in front of his truck.
Mm-hmm.
And they report that it looked at Carlisle and then back at Faye and then back to Carlisle, or one or the other, right? And then it just goes straight up, does not flap its wings, and is on the third floor of this thing. It said some kind of overhang, or, you know, maybe it's on the back end there. There looks like there's a, you know, see that back in there? Maybe it's back in there. I don't know. But so Carlisle gets out of the truck and starts throwing rocks at it.
Nice.
You know,
That's that holler stuff.
yeah, that's it. You know, I ain't scared, you know? And so he starts throwing rocks at it. Excuse me. And he throws a chunk of coal, and it hits the third story ledge, and he almost hit it. And it moved.
Mm-hmm.
And so his better senses, you know, took over, and he ran and got back in the truck, but it just kind of flew away with no incident.
Right.
So, of course, they drive straight back to Point Pleasant, and they report to who? Deputy Halstead. I guess Deputy Halstead was the midnight guy at the Point Pleasant, the Mason County Sheriff's Department at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how many wild teenagers or you know, witnesses he had to deal with in those days, but I bet it was a few.
Yeah.
Now, during this time, it was like Jaws, right? You remember in Jaws when, you know, they got all the townspeople to head out into the ocean.
Everyone
and
took off.
They're gonna take the shark down,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the TNT area was crawling with good old boys with shotguns and rifles, and they were lined up out there.
Yeah.
You know, hundreds of cars just looking for the Mothman. You know, they're like, well, if I bag one, how many can I get? You know, what's the bag limit on Mothman
Right.
around here? So they bring in the National Guard, and they shut down the TNT area because it, you know, it absolutely was flooded with people.
Wow.
Flooded with people. They had to shut it down. Somebody was going to get killed,
Mm-hmm.
right? All the shooting. Now, they flood the area with feds, undercover OSI agents. That's Office of Special Investigations for the Air Force. Project Blue Book, I think, is associated. And the men in black start showing up, who may or may not work for the U.S. government. And over 100 sightings occurred during this 18-month period in the area. And of course, some people say it never stopped. A giant silver UFO appeared above the elementary school, and a witness saw a silver-haired humanoid with silver outfit hovering between the craft and the school. Just sitting there. Linda Scarberry, who witnessed the Mothman again in her new house, she was washing dishes or something like that. She saw the Mothman on a roof of another house. And this time she reported not being fearful of it. And she felt that it was in a place that it didn't understand, that he was a strange thing in a strange land, and that he was lonely. Now, this is the first witness that didn't report being completely terrified of the Mothman.
Right.
And as soon as I read this, I thought, well, there's where all the fan fiction comes from. Have you ever searched for Mothman books on the internet or Audible or anything like that?
I've seen a bunch.
So there is by and large more how should I put this politely? Fan fiction romance novels.
Okay.
About the Mothman.
Well, like Getting It On?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. There
Interesting.
Are, I Married the Mothman and several other series, books. I mean, I counted like 20 one day.
Wow.
Looking for, different Mothman books to,
humans are interesting.
Yeah. So evidently that's a thing. If you're interested, it's out there. I didn't dare.
It's not really like furries, I don't guess.
Well,
maybe
some people say it's furry. How
interesting.
I don't know, but I guess that's where it came from. I don't know, but the Scarberrys also dealt with a poltergeist at their new house. So their doors would fling open, things would slam, and then they would smell a strong cigar smoke just out of nowhere. And one night, Linda Scarberry went into her daughter's room, and there was a man standing there with a checkered shirt on, and he was smiling from ear to ear. And he lit a cigarette, and that light glinted off of a cross that she had over her daughter's bed. Her daughter was asleep. And they both looked at it. And when she looked back, the man was gone. So in comes the grinning men that I didn't know about. This was a new thing for me. The grinning man. Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
there you go.
Okay.
And there you go. There's a guy that we're gonna get to know.
Looks like the Joker.
Mr. Indrid Cold.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, that's not exactly the one that Miss Scarberry saw, I don't believe, but because there are different There are different versions of this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I guess we can go ahead and talk about yeah, leave that up. Let's go to Woodrow Derenberger and Indrid Cold.
Okay.
Okay, so one night driving along the road, Woodrow Derenberger, a local resident, stops in the middle of the road because there's a giant UFO hovering above the road. And this man steps out of it, comes up to his car, and doesn't audibly say anything. He does nothing but grin. But Woodrow Derenberger says that he heard him talk to him, and they had a conversation next to the road.
Oh, yeah, and this is a recorded interview, right? Yeah, I've listened to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been on several TV, programs. I think he wrote a book.
Right.
He's heavily involved in the Mothman Prophecies book by John Keel. And over the next 3 years, Indrid Cold would communicate with Woodrow Derenberger via telepathy, and then sometimes he would show up. Right? Now, the interesting part about this is people drove past Woodrow Derenberger on the highway and saw him talking to this man.
Oh, wow. So there's eyewitnesses?
Eyewitnesses to this encounter.
I like it.
Other than Woodrow Derenberger, right?
Yeah.
And so reports were that, Indrid Cold would be back. And so people started parking outside of Woodrow Derenberger's house, waiting on, the aliens to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so one day, a guy shows up in a black Cadillac and comes up and talks to Woodrow Derenberger, and it is Indrid Cold.
Mm-hmm.
And there are all kinds of people everywhere, right? And eventually, these interactions became more and more. And one day, according to Woodrow Derenberger, he went up in a craft, and Indrid Cold took him to Brazil. Why Brazil? I don't know. But they had a trip to Brazil from Point Pleasant and came back, right? Another trip, he took him to Lanulos, which is the home place, the home planet of Indrid Cold. That he had picked him up, and he watched on a screen the Earth pull away, and eventually they landed at a planet that is sort of similar to Earth, oxygen and, vegetation, strange vegetation and things. But it was kind of a utopian kind of society, right? And all of these people were naked, evidently.
Oh, wow.
And
nice.
Of course, Woodrow Derenberger said, there were some lookers over there on Lanulos, and then he brought him back, and I think he was gone 2 or 3 weeks, and so every time that Indrid Cold would communicate with Woodrow Derenberger via this telepathy, he would get severe headaches.
Mm-hmm.
When he disengaged. He said, this is going to hurt. I'm sorry. Disengage, and he'd get these migraine headaches. He even went in to, get checked out by doctors and and such, and came out, clean bill of health. And you can see that on the Mothman Prophecies film.
Sure.
Right. I can't remember the actor's name that plays
oh yeah, he's been in several things. He was in not October Sky. He was in the astronaut movie Armageddon.
Yeah. Known actor, great guy. Well, I don't know him personally, but he's a good actor. Anyway, so that becomes a thing where there are contactees. And John Keel talks a lot about these contactees.
Right.
That, these people from other planets would show up and talk to, people of the town. But that's one of the more strange encounters is Woodrow Derenberger and Indrid Cold. In fact,
I love that one. Now, what character? Let's find out what character.
It's Gordon Smallwood. That's him. That's his Will Patton. That's his name.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they changed all of their names.
Yeah, Will Patton, real big character actor. You'd know him when you saw him. Great actor.
Yeah, Silo. Cool. That's a good show, by the way.
Okay, I've checked it out.
It? Apple Plus. I recommend it.
Okay,
I give it the thumbs up.
Will do.
All right. Anyway, I digress. So, Indrid Cold never really contacted John Keel, right? That kind of didn't happen like it did in the movie.
Right.
There's several things that, and in fact, in John Keel's book, it's the majority of it. It's about UFOs. Like 85% of it.
And he's a real big investigator.
Yeah, that's what he does. But over the course of a couple of years, they see Mothman about 100 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were thousands of UFO encounters. I mean, thousands. Like, while John Keel was there, he and Mary Hyre, they kind of teamed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like super friends of UFOs or something, right?
Yep.
So they would go out to the Chief Cornstalk area, the natural preserve, I guess.
Yep.
And there was an overlook up there. They said that they could time the UFOs. That Wednesday at 8:30, they would show up like clockwork. And then they would show up sporadically in other times. And that, even a UFO investigator would forget how many times he actually saw a UFO there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you have talked to some fellas that have seen some strange things.
The wild and weird guys. I'm sure they've pulled their hair out a few times in this episode already.
I probably misrepresented something, and they're like, "This guy don't know what he's talking about."
Oh, they're the pros, but we're the pros.
I have a tinfoil hat on, and I started investigating this 3 months ago.
Yeah.
All right, so
you're doing a great job.
Cut me some slack. All right, Jack.
You're doing a great job.
I'm doing what I can here, and so one of the things that John Keel would ask, do you ever dream of someone in your house in the middle of the night? And with anybody that was a contactee, right? And a lot of times people would be like, yeah, I have. And it would be one of these smiling men.
And that's when I take a bat and knock them to China. No.
So
that'd be horrendous.
And I'm trying to kind of work through the Mothman stuff first here, and I'm kind of getting now
it's good. And they started having appearances across the world, right?
They did, and we'll get to that.
Sure.
On November 2nd, 1967, Virginia Thomas, you remember her being mentioned here in one of the first sightings, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were going to her house there in the TNT area, to visit them and their kids, but Virginia Thomas was not at home. And she was a known psychic, according to John Keel. And Virginia Thomas hears a loud shrieking sound while working in her kitchen and walks outside. The noise seemed to be coming from one of the igloos, one of the bunkers.
Mm.
And then she sees a shadow stretch across the ground, and a large gray figure appeared and moved very fast, almost gliding over into the trees. She began having bad dreams. She would see a lot of strange people around the river, like some kind of invasion. Men in trucks coming over the bridge, the Silver Bridge, and into the TNT area.
Mm-hmm.
Around this time, Mary Heyer would start having bad dreams. Mary told John Keel that she was having bad dreams of Christmas gifts floating around in the river and people drowning. Very soon after this, in the next month, the collapse of the Silver Bridge happens.
December 15th, 1967.
Yep. And I think 46 or 47 people perished.
Yeah, R.I.P. Awful. And
they say that that's kind of the end of the Mothman sightings, but there's several that happen in the surrounding areas. But all of the major sightings are kind of over at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
which there was an engineering failure, like an bar failed, and they didn't have any redundancy, which is a backup.
Right.
And it fell.
Yeah. And this thing was built 1910, 1912, something like that. So it was like 50 years old anyway.
And a lot of bridge inspection rules came out after that one.
Yeah. And cars were not as heavy. If you could imagine a Model T of the time against a, 65 Buick, there's probably 1,000 pounds difference, right? Let's put 20 of those across a bridge. Of course, it's going to be probably over the limit for sure.
Yeah.
And if there's no redundancies, there were reports of people seeing a UFO or a Mothman around the Silver Bridge, but none of them were really substantiated or backed up by anybody else. They said they saw a flash, but that was the electric. There was electric cables strung across the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And so
devastating.
There's no real proof that there was anything supernatural about that happening.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
So a lot of these people that would even just see UFOs, right? And we talked about the Klieg conjunctivitis. A lot of people that came face to face to the Mothman, a lot of folks that had close encounters of UFOs, and we're talking a wide plethora of styles of UFOs. Some of them were orbs, some of them were like the silver discs, the classic kind of UFOs. Others were triangles with windows, and they reported to see things, in these windows, forms in the windows. There was some of them had lights. They would change colors, but this conjunctivitis is not caused by an infection, but rather by intense ultraviolet UV radiation exposure, which makes kind of a lot of sense. If you have some kind of otherworldly being, those glowing red eyes, a UFO of some sort, it's got to have some UV radiation involved, right? And you kind of get this by bright arc lights, formerly used in filmmaking and theater, extremely bright lights from a welding torch, arc welding, therapeutic lamps or sun lamps if you're really close to them, or intense sun exposure without proper eye protection. If you're caught in the desert for days at a time, you'd come out with this thing. Symptoms typically appear 6 to 12 hours after exposure. Redness and irritation in both eyes, a sandy or gritty feeling in the eyes, intense pain, sensitivity to light, a watery discharge, and swelling of the eyelids. And a lot of these contactees that came into contact with Mothman had this conjunctivitis.
Poop particles.
Yeah, well,
in your eye, right?
Well, I think that's pig eye, man.
Ain't that conjunctivitis?
Yeah, well, I think it is, but this is a different kind of conjunctivitis. It's not the poop conjunctivitis.
Do you ever feel awkward to say the word fart in front of when we used to have new girlfriends, like back in the day? Obviously, I've been married 16 years. You've been married,
I don't know, 25 or something.
25 years. So let's just say
less than that.
You just made them. You don't want to say fart, and you don't want to fart for a while.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You ain't supposed to, right? You're not supposed to do it in class.
Natural.
Right? You're
I never would fart in school. That's the most embarrassing. That's terrifying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
I can't be dropping the tinfoil hat.
It's okay.
I can't be disrespecting the hat, man.
It's all good.
It's proper etiquette, right? Your mom would be upset if you fart in front of company.
Yeah. It's just such an offensive word.
Yeah.
Fart.
Well, you'd get in trouble for saying that in school, JD, you stop saying fart now.
Stop saying fart.
Yeah.
Go to detention. Get the lice out of your hair.
Take the tinfoil hat off your head.
Yeah, quit picking your nose. But anyway, all right. So conjunctivitis.
Yeah. So I just think it makes a lot of sense. If you're face to face with an otherworldly being or a UFO or something like that, this bright ultraviolet light, it makes a lot of sense, right? And why is that? That's physical evidence of something happening to you. If you have a wild story, the Mothman stared me in the face on the TNT area, that's physical evidence. I guess you could fake that.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you fake that? Right? To me, it wouldn't make sense that people would have that and not be telling the truth. To me, it's some sort of physical evidence on the back end that is sort of undeniable. Now, did they hunt up, go to the muffler shop down there? I saw a muffler shop and I can't remember the guy's name. In Point Pleasant, there was a muffler shop and I can't remember the name of it.
Johnny Muffler.
It was a fantastic name to be running a muffler shop. Yeah, let's look it up. Possums. I knew it was fantastic. Shout out Possums Muffler and Brake Shop. I saw that place and I was like, what?
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Give him a little plugger. Come on down to Possum Mufflers. We muffle the possums and we possum the mufflers. Down here in Point Pleasant, West Argyle, Virginia. 773-745-8885. Thank you very much.
Come on down. Yeah. But I saw that. I was like, you know what? I would go to Possums right now and get my car worked on if I had to.
Oh, yeah.
A guy named Possum.
Oh, dude, he can do anything.
That's like Cooter, right? On Dukes of Hazzard, it's kind of the same, Possum and Cooter, that's close.
Love it.
All right. And anyway, now, John Keel spent a lot of time down there in Point Pleasant, right? He brought a group of witnesses out to the power plant in the TNT area where one woman, Connie Jo Carpenter, actually Mary Hyer's niece, who witnessed the Mothman again out there. Now, she saw the Mothman before out next to the golf course, I believe. And so John Keel went out to the TNT area, to the power plant to try to, he was searching for the Mothman.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go inside and she witnessed the Mothman again. And Keel said he himself did not witness it, but Connie Jo came back with the conjunctivitis. She was also almost abducted by the Men in Black.
Ooh.
And a guy...
Noisy cricket.
A cricket?
Remember the weapon in Men in Black?
Right. Yeah.
The noisy cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he wasn't dressed in black, she said. He had colorful clothes on, and I guess maybe he was trying to lure her in. I don't know. And tried to grab her and pull her into a car. She got away with some scratches and things. And the next day, she had stayed home. She was still a student, but she was married. And the next day, she stayed home from school because she was terrified. You know, she was almost abducted.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody came up on her porch and left a note. And left in big block handwriting. "We can get you yet, girl." And so things like that would happen.
Ain't that terrible grammar?
I guess.
We can get you yet?
Well, you know,
Wouldn't it be like, we can still get you?
Right. Well, this is presumably their second language, right? They don't speak English in Lanulos or wherever.
Right.
Right? I mean,
interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? Now, after this this happening out there at the power plant, John Keel drove, and I'm kind of skipping around here. I apologize.
Oh, you're doing good.
John Keel drove back out to the TNT area. And this is one of the first times that, you know, he had visited Point Pleasant, and he was kind of walking around down a road. And he said that he went through what he called a zone of terror. And he walked into this area and he was completely terrified. And then he got out of it. And on the other side of it, he felt okay. But his car was over here. And he actually thought about just staying there until the morning.
Right.
That it scared him that bad. And finally, he got up the gumption to walk through it again. And he felt that same terror. He made it back to his car and made it out of there. But that's very strange.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know that feeling.
Right.
Which I got a rush. It wasn't being terrified. It was like a kind of euphoric at Trans-Allegheny.
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He reported it as, you know, when he walked into this little area, and he was just terrified. Nothing but terror. And you know, he almost, hey, I'm going to sit here till the sun comes up because I'm not going back to that car.
Right.
So John Keel would have notes and messages left at hotels that he didn't plan on staying at. He would just be driving down a road, traveling to and from different places. He was an investigator. And he would pull into a hotel that he had just planned to stay there 30 seconds ago. And they would be like, are you John Keel? And he'd be like, yeah. You know, this is back in the day when you didn't need a driver's license or a credit card to get a hotel room, right? We're talking the 60s. If you got $20, there's your room, right?
Right.
So they would ask him, you know, you're not John Keel, are you? And we have messages for you. And then he would have a stack of messages that were seemingly, nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But he had no plans of staying at that hotel. He also would have strange phone calls, just like everybody else. He encountered a whole lot of phone sabotage. When he was in New York City, he would communicate with other investigators and other contactees and other witnesses over the phone. And he would he would be talking to somebody and they would bring up a certain subject and the phone line just would be racked with static until they changed the topic.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's fine.
Chapstick. Like
exactly.
The movie.
Yeah. Phone lines would be cut. His phone line was cut in the bottom of his apartment, in his apartment building. There would be, I guess, 100 different phone lines, and he would go down, make the guy open the door, and the phone company fellow would be like, okay, I'm going to show you that there's nothing wrong with your phone. And out of, 100, 150 phone lines, his would be cut. And then the phone company would report to him that it was a piece of solder that gave way. And that was at the terminal in New York, not at his hotel apartment building. He also would have a lady impersonating his secretary, calling people, and he somehow had 2 phone numbers that he would dial. Some people would dial the same number or one number off, and they would answer as his secretary or be impersonating him. So very strange.
Oh yeah, he's a cheater. He has 2 phones. How do you have 2 phones back then?
Well, I mean, I guess if you had a new, I guess you could get two phones in the same place.
Yeah, but like, what's the point? It's like, people have business phones, this, that. Let's just say you're a cheating bastard.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I have to beep that word. Is that?
Nah.
I don't think
that's
so.
That's not.
I'll leave that word. Don't yell at me. But anyway, let's say you're a cheating bastard. How do you having 2 phones back in the day? Your wife or your husband would be like, "Why is there 2 phones here?" There's
right. Well, you can't just pick it up and put it in your pocket.
Which they didn't have caller ID anyway, so I don't guess it mattered.
Right.
Anyway,
so now another UFO encounter, and John Keel says, have you ever heard of the mutilation, UFO animal mutilation thing where they drain their blood and they will take just certain
Skinwalker
organs?
Ranch?
Yeah.
Just stuff?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So they will, and this was happening all over, the map. They would drain like a cow's blood and just take, like its appendix or something. Oh
yeah, they would cut skin off their face, and it would be like really
precision,
precise cuts, and they'd peel the skin off their chin and stuff like that.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
So a lot of dogs ended up either dead or missing. They actually found a dog that was completely charred.
Oh.
Out in the TNT area with nothing around it burnt. And there was a UFO encounter where a Red Cross bloodmobile was traveling down the highway late at night. A man and another nurse in the bloodmobile, and a UFO starts hovering above them. And 2 sort of arms or something starts coming out of it. And they can, see these arms coming down to the bloodmobile. And, the guy, hits the gas. He's trying to get away. Of course, you can't outrun a UFO. But they get lucky as a car starts coming around the curve, and the UFO kind of, whoo.
That's all right. You're
My
good.
bad.
No, you're good.
Kind of bugs out.
Is the Mothman here or what? Or is this just a UFO thing?
This UFO thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a UFO thing.
Gotcha.
Like, UFO, and John Keel's like, well, they must have something for blood.
Right.
Maybe they need blood. Who knows what they need blood for? But how many Red Cross bloodmobiles went missing, right? In those days. Maybe now, who knows? Now, even back in these days, John Keel starts going through the history of different airplanes and helicopters turning into UAPs or UFOs. And that even way back in the biplane days, that these planes, they would see a strange plane and that it would go into a cloud or something like that, and then turn into some kind of a light and go off into the sky.
Right.
And that immediately reminded me of the New Jersey drone situation.
Yep.
And
which was crazy.
People reported this in Point Pleasant, that they would see, airplanes and helicopters, and that they would sort of just kind of turn into a ball of light and then, bug out into the, out in the universe. And I actually saw two of these drones. I sent you the video. I sent you this one, but I really wish I had kept rolling, because this is exactly what happened. These two drones that I did not recognize, they were not military style drones. They were not any drone that I know of. And I've got bad cell phone video of it that I could send you. I mean, I already sent it to you. It's somewhere in your text, but there are two drones going across the sky, and they were way up there high, and they were bigger than normal drones. And I swear to you, it went into a cloud, and then a white light streaked that way in the opposite direction, and they didn't come out the other end.
Love it. Nice.
Now, I didn't keep it rolling, but I got it right before that happened. Had I been rolling another 30, 45 seconds, I would have gotten it on awful cell phone video. But anyway,
you did your best.
I did, who knows? You never know when something like that's going to happen, but it was very strange.
So when did the sightings elsewhere start happening? There's a rumored Chernobyl one, but it didn't. Yeah.
So let's go into the Men in Black, because we haven't even touched that yet. Okay. Now, these strange Men in Black showed up, and they would have ill-fitting black suits that were either way out of style, or maybe they wouldn't be in style for quite a few years. And they would show up to anybody who had a UFO encounter, and they would have dark skin, sort of an Asian look. And in fact, John Keel, I think, said that there was a northern Scandinavian race that had dark skin with high cheekbones that looked similar to what he had seen and what people had reported.
Right.
And they would always say, I will see you in time.
Gotcha.
Or they would ask you, what is your time? Or things of that nature. They would ask to come in and ask you to try to sell you magazine subscriptions. And they would ask you a bunch of questions around your family. And at times they would be like, I need a glass of water with salt in it in 40 minutes. And they would sit there and have a strange conversation with a family. And at exactly 40 minutes, their face would get really, really red. And they'd be like, I'd like to have that glass of salt water now.
Nice.
And they would drink this water, or they would take a pill and drink water, right?
So we think they may be aliens?
Well, they are not associated with any government agency that we know of.
Right.
And why is it that they are all dark complected, Asian looking, long, slim fingers, and they would all have strange shoes with very thick soles?
Dr. Scholl's?
Yeah, I guess.
Nice.
And one, you could see a wire going up their leg because they wore ill-fitting suits, and so the leg of the pants would be hitched way up, and this wire would be showing. And according to one eyewitness, it was like a green or a blue wire going up the guy's leg. A very strange. They would show up in cars that were absolutely pristine, but would be 15 to 20 years old. Mostly black Cadillacs. At some point, they switched to Volkswagens.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because the black Cadillacs were getting too much attention.
Right.
But they would always try to intimidate people. We know what you saw, and we know you're talking. You need to stop talking about these UFOs. And in fact, one man walked into Mary Hires' office late at night, just as she was starting to leave. And he was almost 4'4", tiny little man with a bowl cut, very dark hair, big thick glasses, and he walks in and he says, "Well, I'm looking for directions to Welch, West Virginia."
Oh, nice. This is written down.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is an account from Mary Hire.
Nice.
And there was a witness there. Okay, that can corroborate this story, and she said that he kept talking to her, and he'd get closer and closer and closer and closer, and that she was starting to get kind of mesmerized by this guy. He had some sort of lisp, some sort of speech impediment.
Right.
And she was almost mesmerized, and she kind of snapped herself out of it and ran into the back room. And then he began regaling the other man in the room with an amazing amount of facts about West Virginia. Mary finally returned, and the man picked up a ballpoint pen like he had never seen one before. And he asked if he could have it. And she said, "Yeah, you can have it." And he smiled and he cackled, laughed, and ran out of the door. And they followed, and he kept laughing down the street and around the corner like that ballpoint pen was what he was after. And he was so happy he got it.
How weird.
And there are hundreds of accounts of these men in black in the Point Pleasant area. So
interesting.
Now that kind of wraps up everything that kind of happened in Point Pleasant, right? Yeah. We've got the men in black. We've got the smiling man, Indrid Cold, Woodrow Derenberger, all of the Mothman sightings, conjunctivitis from the UV light. Is there, what do you think?
I think we hit the sightings around the world real quick. We got about 15 minutes, but
okay.
But yeah.
So sightings around the world since then. Now I've got a bunch of theories we need to get through. Okay.
All right.
So we'll go through the sightings here. There's been sightings in Japan near the Fukushima disaster. There were reports of Chernobyl, but I I've yet to really find solid evidence, and there is evidence, in fact, that they made that up.
Yeah, Ron and Joe said that. Yeah. I know they'll appreciate us noting that because we've done a story on that before, but yeah, it's been debunked.
In Germany, Mexico during the swine flu, and reports in New York that they were there. He was there at 9/11, right, or before 9/11. But I've seen the picture. It looks like a seagull to me. Now there was a huge Chicago area Mothman flap from 2011 to 2018, and if you go to the
drive,
the drive, let's go to the notes first.
Got it.
And if you can, now that's just a fun song that somebody made back in the 60s. But these two maps here, let's go to that Wisconsin Mothman. Let's look at that. I think that's the one we're looking for. And I think these are sightings.
Oh, cool. Okay.
To now,
Got it.
These are all of them.
Got it.
And so you can see here, and there's one in Georgia down there I didn't know about.
Yeah. This is fun.
But there's a ton of them in Chicago. Now, I don't really know about too much UFO sightings. I know they see UFOs over the Great Lakes a lot, right? But in 2011 to 2018, they saw the Mothman a lot in Chicago and the area, over into Illinois. I mean, look at
this map. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, look at the other map there real quick.
Sure.
I think that's a different one. Yeah, that Google map right there. There you go. This is just
so they have a Google map made?
Yeah.
That's fun. So you can go and travel these.
Yeah.
Things.
And these there's like 174. I saw 174 there. So there's a bunch of them, right?
Yep.
179.
182.
Now, let's go to the list there.
Now, how does it not have?
I think this is just the Chicago, Lake Michigan,
and Indianapolis.
Yeah. This is recent, right?
Mothman's
recent
ours.
sightings.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And yeah, you can let's go to the drive real quick.
Oh, gotcha.
And I've got some photos in there. There you go. Mothman Legacy. This is from the up there at the top. Mothman Legacy. This is actually something that they captured while they were shooting this documentary.
Oh, cool. Like,
and I think it's just that little, that may be some reflection, that little gray part there. So go to the next one. I think the video is actually in there, but that's copyrighted. We don't want to do that, but see it there.
Got it. Yeah.
And, I don't, who knows? That's just a picture of my TV. Right.
Right.
But,
seems to be moving.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the video you probably shouldn't show. That's probably copyrighted. Now let's go to to theories. Okay.
All right.
Let me ask you, what is your theory of the Mothman?
Oh man, I'd say likelihood of, I think it was probably some type of animal that wasn't native to West Virginia. Most likely. I like to think it was a cryptid, supernatural being, but
right.
I haven't really, I love the lore of it. I think the lore of Mothman is so much deeper than really any cryptid, there's so obviously
many layers.
We wrote a whole movie about it, but yeah.
There's so many layers, UFO and smiling men and telepathy and Indrid Cold and all of these. Right. And so you don't believe in Mothman. You don't think he's real?
I'm still skeptic.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not I think paranormal spirits are real because I've had an experience now. Mothman, I'm still like, I'm gonna say, probably not.
Well,
but
what we experienced was very real.
Yeah.
And whether or not it was,
that's the thing. Like
whether or not it was a glitch or not, that maybe it was, but it was very strange.
It's still so odd, but even still, like that could be some type of paranormal activity. Sure.
And John Keel called the TNT area a window area.
Yeah.
Which, is between dimension, right? Which is my first theory, is that this is some sort of interdimensional being, and somehow it is either it comes here, it doesn't know how it got here, and maybe it returns over time. Excuse me. Now there are alien UAP connections, right? Maybe this thing is some sort of an alien. Now John Keel talks about a hypnosis theory later in another book, much later. I think this is an article or a speech he gave in the 90s. And he talks about how he believed that possibly these people were hypnotized in some way with flashing lights. And that while they were under, they were suggested things to cover the fact that they were being tested on in some way by some government agent or agency, right? Which, we do know that those kind of mind control things were going on in the 60s, especially, right? But that was his theory at one point, was that these folks were hypnotized and suggested these things, right? It was easier to explain away the paranormal and monsters than it would be, random things, right? Then, and that there was a lot of box trucks and vans that would be around the area, and that they possibly could use those for those purposes.
Right.
Another theory is maybe this was some sort of a test subject of some human animal hybrid, right? Because this area was owned by the government for a long, long, long time. There were underground tunnels. Reportedly, it was just to transport TNT from place to place, but who knows?
Right.
That's a big theory out there. Now, I did see some video, and I think it's Expedition
Bigfoot.
Expedition something. What's the name of that? It's like a Discovery show.
There's Expedition Bigfoot.
No, this is I think I've got it on there. We probably shouldn't go to the Mothman notes. I think I got it.
Mothman notes.
Up at the top. Hit that top one, just kind of. Yeah, that's Josh Gates, and it's Expedition Unknown, I think is what it's called.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. But he investigated this on this show, and he had a guy with the Green Berets, and he says that in the 60s, special forces trained out of Huntington, and that is the photos that I have up there. So go to the drive, and halo jumps, and he says that they were performing halo jumps into the TNT area.
Nice.
In the 60s.
That's high altitude jumps.
Yeah.
High altitude. LO.
Yeah.
I don't know what LO means, but yeah, got it.
And so, that kind of looks suspect, right? But how do you fly sideways?
They jump with nukes between their legs?
Yeah, evidently.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Right? Bulging eyes.
It's a good time.
Could they be red? I don't know.
A little sus.
I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
Like I saw, that's probably a modern, that's a modern version, of course. That's not going to be from the 60s.
No.
But, so that was his explanation. The Defense Logistics Agency has a base in Point Pleasant today. They provide global logistical acquisition and technical support to the military and other federal agencies. It is an 11-minute drive to the TNT area. I think I've got some map screenshots.
Sure.
In the drive there.
See what we got there.
Yep, there you go. So there's the drive from the U.S. Defense Logistics.
About 11 minutes.
Yeah. It's pretty darn close. I don't think that was there in the 1960s, but I mean, they're still doing some, and you can kind of skip through those a little bit. There's only 3 of them. Right there's that base there.
Mm-hmm.
And, global logistical acquisition and technical support to the military and other federal agencies.
Right across from Village Pizza, where you can get a Mothman pizza.
Right. So they're right there in Point Pleasant. Is Mothman a mutant?
Have to be.
This place is a super fun site, right? There was tons of they made heavy water there. They made TNT there. It's still contaminated. I probably would not eat the fish or any deer that I killed or caught out there if I were you. There's probably some fella over in Point Pleasant that says, "Well, buddy, I've been eating that fish. I've been eating fish out of that thing.
You got any ketchup, bud? Hey, bud, you got any ketchup?
Yeah, put a little frying magic on
I eat anything Marlboro Reds after.
And all right, so here's my last theory. Is the TNT area sort of a hillbilly Montauk Island?
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware of Montauk Island?
Not much. No.
So Stranger Things was going to be called Montauk. Okay. Yep, there it is. Montauk Island.
Mm-hmm.
Let's yeah. Now that looks beautiful, right? But there was very strange paranormal things happening there, and there was a secret government program under MK Ultra on Montauk Island, right? Yeah, I don't know whether you can find that. Maybe just Montauk MK Ultra, maybe bring something up. Yeah, there you go.
Wait.
And
that was an island with we was looking at is this it?
I think so.
Okay, we was looking at
Montauk Project inside Camp Hero, Montauk, right? New York Post, right there. Let's go over this way to the left. There you go. There you go. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Let's look at that link.
So
evidently there was a lot of testing with kids, and that they were trying to remote view and bring demons or beings from other dimensions.
that is Stranger Things.
And they found strange mutants on the beach along Montauk Island. And so recently there were CIA documents revealed that under MK Ultra, they attempted to pull out interdimensional beings for warfare. Similar sounds and beeps were recorded off Montauk Island in 1966 that were heard in Point Pleasant. Mothman was also sighted near Montauk during that time.
Right.
So Is it an offshoot? Because not all of those documents were released. A lot of those documents were destroyed, right? The only ones that we know about MK Ultra were just kind of tripped over. They were put in a wrong folder and somebody found them, right? So I don't know. Is the Mothman from what do they call it on Stranger Things? The Upside Down? Is he from the Upside Down? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
It could be, man. I like that one. I think that's the one I'm going to pick.
Yeah, I mean that's the one I like. If I'm gonna write it,
yeah,
sure.
Heck yeah. I love it, man.
And there was one guy that came out and was kind of a whistleblower about this program and talked about, you know, how they brought kids in because they were better to kind of see through the veil is what they said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somehow and they're, you know, the kids were missing in the Montauk area, and it's very, very strange. This is a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. We'll have to hit that.
Montauk Island.
New York is, I mean, I think I think part of New York is Appalachia.
It is.
Right?
Part of it is anyway.
Yeah.
So
that counts.
Yeah. I don't know about the island part, but you know,
Right, probably not.
Anyway, I digress.
I love it, Tom. Man, you did an amazing job, sir. I learned so much today that I didn't know.
Well, I hope that I got it right. And if the fellas, I forgot the
Ron and
podcast.
Joe from Wild and Weird, West Virginia.
I love the podcast. You know, they were highly informative and entertaining.
They get deep. Joe's real about disappearing bird disappeared in his hand. He got a little flack, but it did extremely well. It was a great story. It's crazy, man.
Right.
And I think that was on camera. But
I saw that. And the UFOs they got on the cameras was fantastic.
That was killer, man. Killer stuff.
Yeah. So hey, I'll go out and hunt UFOs with you fellas anytime. Should I wear my tinfoil hat?
Lord, yeah. I mean, I think it only helps any situation.
Well,
but on that, where can people find you? You do a lot of things.
I mean, I do a lot of things. So my number one podcast is Appalachian Living, right? We talk about, culture in Appalachia and the good things, the bad things, the good, bad, and the ugly about living in Appalachia, right? And, TikTok, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts. There's a YouTube channel, full video podcasts up on there. I'm not sure whether I'm going to continue with the Appalachian Alliance, the Survivor podcast. I'm going to try. My buddy Mitchell was transferred to another school in the county, and we're trying to figure out a way that we can have time to record this this podcast. We're going to try to work it out. He's kind of on a different schedule. He's on an elementary schedule. I'm on a high school schedule. They're kind of skewed, and we both got kids and wives and lives and a whole thing. So we may or may not do that. That's all in the same place. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all that stuff. What else? Assistant directing the Mothman Prophets.
Yeah, which
film.
I'll have to have you come on
soon.
Yeah, we're gonna have you on when we can do. We'll have you on with a few of the crew. We're gonna get all into some craziness.
Yeah, and a lot of weird stuff happened.
Oh yeah,
during the filming of that movie, and maybe that's another podcast.
I gotta reflect on it all. I definitely need notes because there's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah,
me and Matt talked about the Bluefield story about the building.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which was crazy.
It was wild. It was meant to be. There was a lot of synchronicities.
Yeah.
Right. If something didn't work out, it was meant to be somewhere else. And then, one of us would have a pet pass and then we would save one.
Yep.
And moths would just appear.
Yep.
And
Out of a book or out of a script.
Out of a script on the day that we're shooting.
Yeah. Is nuts.
And we can go into that later.
No, we're gonna have a bunch of those episodes that are gonna go on probably on Patreon. I'm gonna have or our membership section because I don't want to spoil the movie and I don't want to filter our conversation.
Right.
But yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of good things coming up. But thank you, sir.
All right.
We'll have to think of a new topic for part 3. That was amazing. Love you, brother.
I love you too, buddy.
You are the man.
Thank you.
Everyone else out there, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Creepalachia on YouTube if you haven't already. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, take a minute and leave a review. That'll really help the show be found. And we are on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and we got merch now, creepalachia.shop. We're about to release pre-orders for hoodies. It's getting a little chilly willy. And above all else, everyone else, always remember, long live Appalachia.